There are two different ways that you can wrap the weft for your woven cuff. In this one, I'm just wrapping the thread around end to end in between the slots I created in my cardboard. The piece of cardboard is about 10 inches by 3 inches wide, and I've made 8 little slots that are 1/4 of an inch apart. I'm just wrapping around and around until I'm finished. The second style of creating a weft is a selvage weft, and to create that I'm just wrapping around the tabs rather than all the way around to the cardboard. In the same way, you just continue until all of your slots are finished. The next step is to thread your needle with your decorative yarn and start weaving. I'm using a big plastic yarn needle here, and to begin the weaving I'm just going under and over each of the weft threads until I get to the end. Then I'm gently going to pull the yarn through. To stop the tail from getting lost, I've just tucked it into the top tab. Once I've finished going across, I'm just going to gently push the weaving up into a straight line. Then I'm going to turn around and begin again. Because the yarn ended under the last weft thread, I'm going to make sure that I start by going over and then under. I'm going to continue across, over, under, until I reach the end, and then again I'm going to gently pull the yarn through. You want to be careful not to pull it too tight because it will change the shape of your cuff, although you might decide that you like that. And I'm just going to continue in this manner, making sure that I always begin the next row in the opposite direction. So here you can see my yarn is over the top, so I'm going to begin the next row by going under first. And you just continue on in this way until your whole cardboard loom is filled up. When you reach the end of a thread, leave a tail hanging out, begin the next thread next to it, and when you're completely finished, you can tie off all those ends. So one of the final steps, once you've filled in all of your cardboard loom, is to take your yarn needle, push it back through a few rows of your weaving, and weave in all of the loose ends. This way you don't end up with little fuzzies where your knots are on the outside. It'll give your finished project a much more clean, professional look. Once you've woven in all your loose ends, the last thing to do is turn your flat piece of weaving into a bracelet. On the selvage style, to do this, you just gently pull your weaving off of the tabs, and then I've tied a piece of cotton to one of the loose ends, and here I'm just weaving it through each of those little loops made by the selvage wefts in a zigzag pattern so that it joins the two ends of the weaving together. Once you've woven through all of your selvage loops, you just want to slide your bracelet onto your wrist to check for fit, and then you can tie off all the loose ends and weave all of those loose ends back into the bracelet so that they disappear, and your cuff will be completely finished. If you made the wraparound style weft in the beginning, the first step to finishing is to turn your woven strip over and cut the weft cords apart in the middle. After you've done that, you can pull the loose ends up in pairs and tie them around the last strip of your weaving. I'm tying a square knot here, left over right, right over left. And you're going to continue down the pairs of weft threads until all of the weft threads are tied off. So you'll do this same procedure on both ends. When you've tied all of your threads off on both ends, the next step is to take those bunches of cords and tie them together in a knot. Just check your bracelet for fit before you tie that down, and you're done.